back with another video here, and today we're going to do a topic. I'm going to give you my top 10 favorites of 1989, the year of the bat and the year of the cool. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and kick off with number 10 here, and a lot of these I do have on DVD and or Blu-ray, but again, they're all boxed up, and I wouldn't know, which box they're in, so I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the list here. So we're going to kick off again with number 10, License to Kill. To me, a great Bond film, very underrated Bond movie. Timothy Dalton was a great Bond. And, I haven't seen the Bond films in a few years. I do remember going through the whole Bond series back in like 2020, I believe, and I still haven't seen the last one, and I don't care to. But License to Kill is a great Bond film, and that is at number 10. Number 9, Kickboxer, great Van Damme film. To me, it's right up there with Bloodsport. I love Van Damme. The soundtrack is great fight scenes. And yeah, Kickboxer, again, is another Van Damme classic. And that is number 9. Number 8, to me, a very underrated sequel, Ghostbusters 2. I love Ghostbusters 2. I know, there's some people out there that feel it's not as funny as the first, or it's inferior to Ghostbusters, but that I still enjoy the movie. I enjoy the premise. The group of Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, they're great again. I did like the humor. The direction is fun. And just overall, it's a very enjoyable sequel. And to me, in my opinion, the last great Ghostbusters film. But that's just me. And that is number 8. Number 7, I have to put Leviathan. Yeah, Leviathan is a very underrated film. Great cast. You got Peter Weller in the film, Ernie Hudson, Daniel Stern, Richard Crenna, Amanda Pays, directed by George P. Cosmatos. Great score by Jerry Goldsmith. I love the plot to the film. And the creature effects, I think it was done by Stan Winston. I might be wrong, but the creature effects were very cool to look at. And 1989 was the year of underwater films. Whether it be Leviathan, The Abyss, Deep Star 6, which I haven't seen, but yeah, Leviathan to me is a great movie. Definitely belongs in my top 10. Number 6, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. I would say it might be my favorite indie film. Raiders of the Lost Ark, I love Temple of Doom, but maybe it's just you have Harrison Ford, you got Sean Connery in there as the father, and I haven't seen the indie films in maybe a year or two, but I love The Last Crusade. I love the dynamic between Harrison Ford and Sean Connery, and just talking about it makes me want to go back and revisit the film, rewatch the film again. Really I need to go back and revisit the first 3 again, and but I just love The Last Crusade. Number 5, Lethal Weapon 2. To me, a great sequel. Definitely one of the best films of that year. Made a lot of money. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover, they're back. They're great again. You have the addition of Joe Pesci in there. Diplomatic Immunity. That villain. And yeah, I need to go back and rewatch those movies again, but which very soon here I will be watching Lethal Weapon on the big screen. But I really all 4 of them, I would say the first 3 I love, and I still like part 4. I still like Lethal Weapon 4, but I really enjoy the first 3. And I think my favorite is between the first one and the third one. But I love part two. I love Lethal Weapon 2. You know, Men Like You Don't Die on Toilets. We all remember that scene. But a great sequel, and a very worthy sequel. You know, number 4, to me, Tango and Cash. One of my favorite buddy cop, or I guess you would say buddy cop film, but yeah, I mean, you got Stallone in the film, you got Kurt Russell, Jack Palance as the villain. I love the soundtrack by Harold Faltermeyer. And it's a very entertaining, you know, buddy action film. You know, again, well, it is a buddy cop film, but yeah, I mean, Kurt Russell, again, him and Stallone had great chemistry. The way they jab at each other throughout the movie. And that is one of those films I wish we could have gotten a sequel. It would have been a lot of fun. I'm not talking about now, because now that would be, you know, considered a legacy sequel, and I wouldn't trust Hollywood now to pull off a good Tango and Cash, you know, sequel. But, you know, maybe back then they should have gotten at least one sequel. You know, maybe around like a 94, 95, that would have been perfect. But yeah, Tango and Cash is a great movie. To me, another favorite of that year. Number 3, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Yeah, this is a film that, yeah, you know, goes back to my childhood, but I still think it's a great movie. It's a great family movie. You know, the premise is very unique, and, you know, it was a big hit when it came out. I think in the summer. I think it came out in the summer of that year. But I just love the premise. I love, you know, Rick Moranis, I'm a big fan of. And if the guy that, I know he's kind of retired now, I know there's talks that he might come back for another, you know, Shrunk type movie. You know, it'd be cool, but I understand, like, you know, if he wants to stay retired, you know, more power to him. But, you know, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, you know, that's what he's most known for. You know, especially the first movie being this big success when it came out. And I do enjoy the film. And, yeah, again, you can say that it's all nostalgia and childhood, but it is, I put it in that high regard in my top 10. You know, for me, it's a film that I watched a lot back in the day. And even as an adult, you know, at this age, you know, I can still enjoy the film. And, you know, it's a great movie of that year. Number 2, The Burbs. Yeah, I mean, definitely one of my favorite comedies. Like, if I had a top 10 of favorite comedies, you know, The Burbs would be up there. You got Tom Hanks, you got Bruce Dern in the film, directed by Joe Dante. And it's a very enjoyable, you know, plot where they suspect Tom Hanks, and along with his 2 neighbors, they suspect these other neighbors, you know, they're, you know, ritualistic killers and stuff like that. And, you know, they spy on them and stuff. And, you know, it's a very fun, just dark comedy. And The Burbs is, to me, one of the most underrated comedies. And I love it. I love The Burbs. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And obviously, number 1, my number 1 favorite of that year, to no one's surprise, Batman. I love Batman. Michael Keaton is the best. He's the best Batman. Jack Nicholson is great as the Joker. Tim Burton's direction, Danny Elfman's score, you know, the overall tone of the film being dark and gothic, but it, you know, still a comic book movie, the biggest hit of that year. And yeah, to me, my favorite, number 1 favorite of 1989. But that is it for this topic here. My top 10 favorites of 1989. Again, quickly recap. Number 10, License to Kill. Number 9, Kickboxer. Number 8, Ghostbusters 2. Number 7, Leviathan. Number 6, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Number 5, Lethal Weapon 2. Number 4, Tango and Cash. Number 3, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Number 2, The Burbs. And number 1, Batman. But that is it for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.